Oh, hello. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Hunter Cadre, that's the Tau team from the Kill Team Compendium, in the second in my series of Kill Team overviews. So, Hunter Cadre Kill Team, it's another standard Compendium team where you mix and match two fire teams from a choice of three, much like the Sisters one that we looked at last time. You get either 12 or 9 bodies or something like that, depending on which you pick. So if you pick two stealth battlesuit fire teams, then you're going to get a minimum of 6 bodies. But if you mix and match them with one of the others, you get 9. And if you double up, take double fire warriors or double pathfinders, you should get 12. And then you can swap them out for drones, which is kind of like a third, almost like having a third fire team, right? It's another library of models that you can swap into your existing fire teams. Have a quick look at how drones work. So Tau have a whole extra page of rules just for drones. Essentially, you can swap out one of your Tau warriors for a drone, or if you swap out a stealth suit, you can get 2 drones. Some of the drones are keyed to the Pathfinders, so if you take the Pathfinders, that unlocks effectively the Guardian, that unlocks effectively the Recon drone, the Pulse Accelerated drone, and the Grav Inhibitor drone. And if you take a Fire Warrior team, that effectively unlocks the Guardian drone and the Tactical Support turret. And then any teams can take the Gun drone, Shield drone, and Marker drone, which are kind of like the 3 basic drones. They have also the Marker Light ability, so certain models will be able to do the Marker Light action, which is much less cool and interesting and useful than it is in the Chalnath Pathfinder team. There's a lot of text there. What it boils down to is if you spend an action point to shoot someone with a marker light, then whenever something else shoots against it, they can reroll one of their attack dice. And that's basically it. Okay. You have some rules there on the right hand side. I'm not just going to sit and read out rules, but you have some particular rules on the right hand side for how drones work as well, because they have some different things going on with them. But let's have a look at the actual fire teams. So, first one is the Fire Warriors fire team. These are a little bit interesting, but mostly they're painfully dull. So a Fire Warrior fire team includes 6 Fire Warrior /Las, so troopers effectively. And if you haven't got a leader, you can upgrade one of them to the Sashi, which is the Sergeant, effectively. They can be armed with a choice of 3 weapons, but really a choice of 2 weapons. So if we have a look at the cards, you'll see that the Pulse Carbine and the Pulse Rifle have exactly the same stats. So even though they are different options, because presumably in 40k they do different things, as far as Kill Team is concerned, they do exactly the same thing. So really you're choosing between your Pulse Blaster or the Carbine/Rifle, right? Now the Blaster's quite interesting. So the Blaster, let me just get rid of that. The Blaster has a choice. If you're within red, you can fire it at close range, which means that you gain AP1 over and above the Carbine and the Rifle. But in trade, when you're firing it at long range, then you're 1 less damage to normal and at critical compared to the Carbine and the Rifle. Frankly, if I was going to take Fire Warriors, I would probably want to take the Carbine/Rifles. I think that's the better gun. Yeah, and if you upgrade one to a leader, then he gains an extra wound, and he is 1 point of skill better, so he's hitting on 3s rather than hitting on 4s. There's not a lot to commend Fire Warriors to choose them as one of your kill teams. The only thing they really have going for them, and it is quite a big deal, is they can take cards from the security deck. And security is, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of people, the easiest set of objectives to accomplish in the game. So that is a reason to take Fire Warriors. And the other reason is that you unlock the Guardian drone and the turret. We'll talk more about those when we get to the page on drones. But certainly if I'm taking a Fire Warrior fire team, I'm going to take my 6 Fire Warriors. I'm probably going to swap at least 2 of them out for drones. And I'm doing it to unlock access to that security deck, because that's really all they've got going for them. Pathfinders, a bit more interesting. So a Pathfinder fire team can take a heavy gunner, and the rail rifle on the heavy gunner is really cool. So 4 dice hitting on 4s, damage 4/4, but it's lethal 5+, AP1, and on a crit. So when you roll a 5 or a 6, it does 2 mortal wounds. So a lot of the time, if you roll a 5 or a 6, you're going to be doing 4 damage plus 2 mortal wounds at AP1. When you are hitting with a normal hit, you're going to do 4 damage at AP1. Compare with the ion rifle. Yeah, the ion rifle, if you overcharge it, then you get the AP1. You do get an extra shot. You're going to get an extra point of damage on a regular hit and the same damage on a critical hit, effectively, although 2 aren't from mortal wounds, so they could be saved, but you have the disadvantage of hot. I'd probably go for the rail rifle. They're both good. They're very close to each other. You know, in terms of what you get, but I suppose you have the option with the ion rifle shooting at standard profile, you still get piercing on a crit. I would probably go for the rail rifle, but I've not tried it, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. The extra attack dice is a big deal, right? So maybe you want the iron rifle, but they're pretty close to each other. But really, the gunner is why you're taking the team. Yes, they all have marker lights. Marker lights are okay. They all have pulse carbines. Pulse carbines are okay. Your sergeant is hitting on 3s and has the extra wound again. They're okay. Chalnath exists, and the Chalnath Pathfinders are about 800 times cooler. And so if what you really want to do is play Pathfinders, play the Chalnath team. I mean, seriously, play the Chalnath team. You do unlock the Pathfinder drones, which is a good way to take the Pathfinder. Recon drone especially is pretty cool, but again, it's cooler in Chalnath, so yeah. I'm going to say that a lot, but I will say it one more time for good measure. The Chalnath Pathfinders are 800 times cooler, but Pathfinders are cool. The stealth suits are where I think the real interest lies in running a Compendium team, especially in the context of Chalnath being out and the Chalnath Pathfinder team being an option. I think if you see Compendium Tower at all, it will be because people are playing around with running 6 stealth suits. I don't know why this slide says Pathfinders at the top. That is an error. Should stay stealth suits, right, which is what we're talking about. My bad. Stealth suits have some pretty mind-bogglingly good things going on. Okay, so the first thing is camouflage field. So if you make a shooting attack, unless you're within circle, or it's an attack that's being hit with them because of a blast weapon, they're always treated as being in cover. Okay, and if they have a conceal order, then they always have the conceal order, even if you have vantage on them or anything like that. So if they're concealed, then it's pretty difficult to shoot them unless you get very close to them, right? Because they're always going to count as having that cover whether they have it or not. And there is a infamous thing you can do with these. If you're playing on the official Octarius terrain, if you put a stealth suit on the center of the oil rig, the little oil rig platform, there's no way to get a model within circle of the stealth suit that's on the oil rig. You can't balance him up there on the platform. There's no space for his base, and if he's on the ground, he's not within circle. So you can kind of sit up there on conceal with impunity. What use is being on conceal all the time? Well, that will make sense if you don't already know when we get to the ploys at the end. Okay, but really good. They can also fly, which is really good. Fly's kind of busted. It's more broken for the Harlequins because they want to be able to get in combat, but it's still a really good rule to have. And again, your sergeant gets an extra wound and is hitting on 3s. There was a typo in the compendium. I've pasted in the FAQ here. He is supposed to be hitting on 3s with whichever weapon. You can take a fusion blaster. You can take a burst cannon. You can only have 1 fusion blaster per fire team, even if you use your leader. But still, I think taking 6 of them with 2 fusion blasters is pretty good. Just because of the camouflage field and the flight. I have the models. I should really try this at some point. But I think genuinely this is the only interest in the Compendium Tau that they have left now that Chalnath's out. Drones, there's loads of them. Are you swapping stuff out to take the drones? Gun drone, I don't think it's particularly worth it. Yeah, it has it has fly, and it can fly around and grab objectives and stuff, and it was pretty, you know, if you look at the last battle report where I played against Pathfinders, it was the humble gun drone that was able to fly around and do stuff, but I don't understand, to be honest, what my opponent didn't take one of these other more interesting drones that could have still done the same objective capturing shenanigans, right? Marker drone in this kill team, they're pretty awful because you don't care about marker lights. In Chalnath Pathfinders, yeah, take a marker drone. Their marker lights are really good for them, but not for this. The Guardian drone, which is one of the ones you're going to take if you've got Fire Warriors. What it does is it provides an aura of a 5-up invulnerable save, which is kind of fine. It's pretty similar to the shield drone, which provides a which itself has a 4-up invulnerable save, and they have rules where they can jump in front of shots and tank bullets for your other characters, so they're kind of cool. The Guardian drone's pretty cool, but again, having to take Fire Warriors to get it was a bit of a tax. Pulse Accelerator drone is pretty cool. You know, it provides an aura of blue that lets your pulse weapons retain a successful normal hit without rolling it, so you get an extra hit. That's pretty good. But from playing other teams, I've never played Compendium Tower. From playing other teams, playing around auras of blue can get really hard, especially if you're having lots of overlapping auras of blue with the Pulse Accelerator drone and the Guardian drone and that sort of thing. That can be a bit difficult. Grav Inhibitor can be pretty cool if you know you're playing against a team that's going to want to get into combat with you. You know, you can prevent people from charging you as easily because you nerf their extra circle of charge to being an extra triangle of charge, and you nerf their dash action if they're within red of you to be a circle instead of blue, and that can really hamper close combat teams. I would probably dislike with my novitiates to come up against a Grav Inhibitor drone. It's a bit similar to what happened to me when I played against the Warp Covens. They had that warp power, right? But obviously it's got a range, so it's a bit more limited. It can also put down the Grav Wave token, which essentially lets your guys fall back for free, which is pretty cool. The Recon drone, which brings a burst cannon. Burst cannons are pretty good. Would you rather have a burst cannon on a stealth suit? Don't know. You know, potentially. But it also has its analyze action, which lets you select a visible operative and then activate another friendly operative during its activation. When it shoots the operative that you've analysed, it gets a bonus. And that ability to chain activate a second model is why you want to bring the Recon drone. So maybe I can see Pathfinders plus stealth suits being one of the big builds for this, because you take your 3 stealth suits and your Recon drones to get an extra burst cannon. Maybe that's stronger than 6 stealth suits. Those are the 2 builds that I would be thinking of, right, for this book. Pathfinders and stealth suits or double stealth suits. The support turret, again, you can only take the turret with the Fire Warriors. It can't move, which is pretty alarming. Easily played around, I think. In one of the things about Kill Team is that you can never be sure that a model is safe, because your opponent can always move a model to flank it, to get round the terrain, to create line of sight where there wasn't before. Any mobile model just seems to me to be pretty easy to play around, but I'm sure there are times when it will come in handy. It's got its missile pod is pretty ridiculous. You know, 5-7 damage is pretty good. And then it's got this smart targeting rule, which I guess is what means that it can't be played around nearly as easily, right? Each time make sure to interact with the weapon, use the rule. If you do, enemy operatives with an engage order, not with an engagement range of friendly operatives, valid targets, and can't be in combat. Yeah, that's pretty good. But then it's only 3-4 damage, sort of. But you get 6 shots, so sort of sits the back and pumps that out. And then if your opponent misplays, basically, so basically what you're going is, if your opponent misplays, I'm going to be able to do the missile pod shot, but otherwise I'm going to sit at the back and fire my smart missile system. Yeah, certainly if you're taking Fire Warriors to get security, you should take the turret, right, to sit at the back and spam out those little missiles. But I don't think Fire Warriors bring enough to the kill team other than the turret. That's true. I've never played as this team. These are just my thoughts off the top of my head, looking at the rules. Equipment. Marker lights. You can buy marker lights for things that don't have them for two equipment points. Bear in mind that your Pathfinders, if you take them, come with marker lights, and a marker light is an action point to put a status effect on an enemy model that means when you hit it, you can reroll one of your dice. So you've had to perform the action to put the marker light on. You have to pay 2 equipment points to get the marker light potentially. If you want them, take Pathfinders and get marker lights that way. Don't be taking Fire Warriors and putting marker lights on them. That's not. I wouldn't recommend that. Everything else looks pretty good. Photon grenades. Just because grenades are always pretty good, right? That's just one of the rules of Kill Team. Grenades are pretty good. So this is a special kind of grenade that you throw on a 2-up. You gain a photon token. When it has any photon tokens, it's hampering move, right? You're subtracting circle for its movement characteristic, and it can't dash. Against a close combat team, pretty powerful, okay? But you're spending an action point for a thing you can only throw once. Target locks, if I'm taking stealth suits, target locks pretty cool. It says each time the operative makes a shooting attack in the roll attack die step of that shooting attack, the target is treated as having a marker light token, which is a really long-winded way of saying you get to re-roll one of your dice, right? Which is pretty strong. 3 EP to get to re-roll dice every single time you shoot when you're a shooting model with a really good shooty gun. Seems pretty good. Stimulant injector, you can only take 1, but it lets you heal wounds. It doesn't let heal wounds at the start. It gives you a kind of 5-up save instead of that. So basically, yeah, it's okay. But you have to turn it on either when you're about to lose a wound or at the start of the turn of its activation. Yeah, it's okay. Holographic readout. You can only put it on your leader. And essentially what it allows you to do is when there's an operative within blue, until the end of the turn, that operative can perform 1 mission action for 1 SAP. So you get a free mission action out. Getting a free AP out is good. It's also for battle. It could come in clutch, but then again, you rely on kind of running your leader and another guy up to the objective and then making sure that you do it, and then you've had to type your leader running over there and doing this, so maybe your leader could have been better employed doing something else. So ultimately, I'm taking stealth battle suits and I'm putting target locks on them. That's really my thought there. Yeah, I'm taking 3 target locks on 3 stealth battle suits. And if I'm doing double stealth battle suits, I'm putting 2 of them on the meltery ones and then 1 on a 3rd one. And if I'm taking single stealth battle suits, they're going on the 2 that aren't the leader, because the leader's got a better BS. No, in fact, I put them on all 3, and then take some Pathfinders. Maybe I put 2 on 2 stealth suits and 1 on the Pathfinder gunner. Yeah. I think, no, stealth battle suits only. So yeah, 3 battle suits. Deploys. Interestingly, the strategic deploys are all key to a specific fire team. And the one that I get, as you can probably tell, I really quite like the look of the stealth battle suits, and the one that my eye is drawn to is the camouflage field engagement, which for an action point lets you change your order, right? Which means if you're concealed turn 1 and you don't shoot in turn 1, you position and then you do mission actions, right? Whatever you want to do, and then you're concealed and you can't be shot because you're concealed. So you position yourself, you do some mission actions if you want to, and then you position, and then turn 2. You can't be shot. On your turn, you flip to engage, you shoot for an action point, and then you turn on your camouflage field for an action point, and you're back into being concealed. And because you're a stealth suit, you can't be shot, even if they have advantage, and even if you aren't in cover. And yeah, you only have the 2 AP, so you're not going to be able to do that every single time, right? Because sometimes you'll have to do mission actions, and sometimes you won't be able to perfectly position in the first turn, and sometimes the enemy will actually get you in combat, get within circle of you. You can't be on Octoria's oil rigs for the whole game, right? But that seems really powerful, and that seems to be where the play is with this particular Compendium team. Stand-and fire is also good because it means when you do get caught in combat, you can spend a CP to use your gun as if it was a combat weapon, which is pretty good because that means that you can use your burst cannon in combat, which means you have a chance of actually killing things in combat. Yes, you have to spend a CP every single time, but I think that's really quite strong. Those are the 2 that stand out for me. The others are fine, I think. yeah, really situational. Recon sweep looks really situational. Supporting fire, I am too stupid to even work out what that does. Use the tactical play in the firefight phase when a shoot action is declared for a friendly hunter cadre operative. Okay. In the select valid target step of that shooting attack, you must select an enemy operative that's within engagement range of one or more other friendly operatives and within red of the active operative. Okay. And that enemy operative can't be in cover as a result of friendly operative bases. Okay. Note, however, that in the roll defense die step of that shooting attack, the enemy operative can be in cover as a result of friendly operative bases. So it's a really long-winded thing. I think the effect is that the enemy operative can't be in cover as a result of friendly operative bases, but the way it says and that enemy operative can't be in cover makes it sound like that's part of the requirement to target the enemy operative. Bleh. Bleh. I don't like it. Final thoughts? If it isn't really clear, I think the only play with Compendium Tau is stealth suits. Take at least 3 every time. Maybe try 6. Maybe take 3 in the Pathfinders. Right, but stealth suits. Maybe, I've got no idea. I've never played them in this version of Kill Team. I've already reviewed the one team that I have played, and I'm waiting until I've got a few more games with the novitiates to do a kind of breakdown of them. This is kind of my first thoughts glancing over the team. Maybe that's useful for someone. Listen, if you have piloted Compendium Tau and you've had loads of success with them, tell me in the comments why I'm wrong and what tricks I've missed, and then we can kind of share the knowledge with the people that may stumble across this video, right? That would be really good. So if you've read this, if you've watched this and thought, I want to know more, then scroll down and maybe someone that knows what they're talking about will have left a comment saying, oh no, Compendium Tau really good because... I think they probably C tier, right? C for Compendium. I think, like the Sisters Compendium team that I reviewed, they're fine, and I think you can play games with them and have fun, but increasingly... And maybe this is a topic for another video. As you watch other tournaments results come in around the world, it's the bespoke teams are placing in the top 10, with a couple of exceptions for things like Harlequins and Custodes. I think I've just seen, if I glance over to my Discord as I'm recording this, I think there was a tournament in London today. How's that for topical? A Badminton Cafe. I think I'm right in saying that Tau actually managed to place in the top 10, as in Compendium Tau. Let me just see. Yeah. Oh no, Tyranids, not Tau. You see, that's the dyslexia. Tyranids, Tau, Tyranids, same thing. So, yeah. Maybe talking about the Compendium teams isn't that relevant, but it's content, and it is where people are going to start, because a lot of people coming into Kill Team will have 40k armies, and they'll want to pick up the Compendium so they can pull over their models from 40k. They want to have a vague understanding of what they do, and then they want to play some games, and then maybe you're going to decide to invest in a bespoke team, right? So, hope you enjoyed the video. As I say, if you've got a really good idea of what Tau Compendium are really good for, leave it in a comment down below. Future videos this week, obviously there'll be another battle report on Friday. I'm in danger of finishing posting my novitiates, so if I do that, I'll get them posted up. Maybe I'll end up doing another tactical overview video, just because I'm not having many kind of shower thoughts to do kind of just random extra shower thoughty videos about Kill Team at the moment. Maybe Games Workshop will drop some news on us, we just don't know. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everybody.